Thank you all for being here. This is from Stuck to Align, the quantum shift into your highest timeline. My name is Rama Leith. I am a highest timeline activator, holistic health coach, and multidimensional healer. This is really a time for us to be experiencing what we want to be living in this lifetime, why we came in this physical form, and all the gifts that are waiting for us. So we'll be discussing that. We'll be moving through an activation at the end. So definitely stick around for that and be talking about different opportunities available as well to help you in this timeline shifting that we're going through right now. So here's a few questions that I want you to just ponder, think about. And these are questions that I had to ask myself when I was starting to jump into my highest timeline, living with more joy and vitality and heart-centered. Do you feel like you're working hard but not moving forward? This is something I feel so many people are experiencing right now. We're working for other people, are now having some issues around not wanting to be in that certain work or career or something that might be feeling like we're not aligned with our purpose. Have you done the mindset work but still feel blocked? So are you feeling like you are doing the affirmations and the really doing that work to bring in your highest thoughts, your highest frequency, but you're still feeling blocked, that there's still stuff that's blocking you from moving forward in that area? And are you ready for more health, wealth, purpose, and peace? I know this was a big thing for me. I wanted that peace. I wanted to feel like I was living in my highest purpose. I wanted to have that divine health, to be in flow. And so with that, I wanted to share what we're going to be doing is moving through that and getting from the stuck to aligned. And this is really a process. It's not something we're obviously going to be able to complete all by itself in one day, but this is really a beginning of being able to see the framework, to see the possibilities, see how changes, small changes and courageous changes can really make a big difference in moving yourself forward. So I wanted to tell a little bit about my story. I'd love for you all to, I love that picture though. That was such a beautiful picture of the plants that were behind me. I love that picture so much. So I just wanted to share again my story, what brought me here. This was not my path originally. I was working in the world of public health and my health collapsed and I was just feeling out of alignment, feeling angry and frustrated and not like I was in flow. My body again was just in so much pain. And I had to make a decision. And this is where the highest timeline comes into play, is when you make that conscious decision that there needs to be a change. And it's really easy to stay stuck in that because it's what we've known. And when we have to step out of what we've known, and even if they're crummy experiences, being able to take that courageous step to say, like, this is not working for me, and I will step into the unknown that will then give me opportunities to grow, even though that feels really, really scary. So when you're thinking about your highest timeline, that's the decisions you have to make. For me, it was really just in a moment of desperation that everything was failing and I had to make this one decision. And that big decision was to quit my job, just to quit my job and go on my spiritual and healing journey. And that really led me to be able to open up to all the gifts that I had waiting for me that I didn't even know I had, didn't know any of this work was possible. I'd never even heard of doing quantum healing or highest timelines or medical intuition, any of the stuff that I do now. I'd never heard of any of that. And it really was letting go of the ego, letting go of the fear, and just stepping into the unknown that allowed all of this to open up for me, which was my path, that is my path. But had I stayed in that feeling of unworthiness, of needing to people please and needing to work with other people so that I could make money, if I stayed on that path, I would have never done and been able to be who and do what I do now, which is such a blessing. That's what's kind of brought me to this highest timeline work, because I know it's difficult in making that decision sometimes, and you need courage and you need support and you need someone that's going to stand by you and encourage you. So those are the types of things that are really important. And for me, it did take having coaches. It did take having teachers. It did take having people in my life that were supportive and didn't hold me back when I was making these courageous choices. So all of those aspects of finding a coach, being with aligned people, finding new experiences, doing the research and finding what's available, that was all timeline jumps. Those were all things that put me on a trajectory to make those changes in my life. So my question for you is, how many of you have had some kind of timeline jump where you really had taken a brave, courageous step that led you into a new chapter in your life that kind of gave you the strength to do what you're doing now? Is there something that you could put in the chat? Like, what are some things that have led you to make those big, bold choices that you've seen have propelled you forward? I would love to hear. Was it starting a family? Was it a career change? Was it a move? Was it working with a coach or a healer? What had come through? What are some things that had propelled you into your highest timeline?
Someone said job layoff and then jump on the golden timeline with another healer. And also someone said, my ego left me a few months ago. I thought that was cute. And then my timeline shift is now.
Yay. That's so great. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And there are things that are going to happen that are going to give you that opportunity, the opportunity to move forward, to make a choice, to either stay or to go. And sometimes those opportunities are even taken away from us, right? So we are in a moment where we're questioning, should I go? Should I stay? Whatever the case is. And then your options disappear. You're left with only one option. And what we're experiencing right now in this incarnation and with the purpose that we have for being here now is really moving us into that highest timeline, which then means that the things that are falling away from us, maybe sometimes they feel hard and that's not the stuff we wanted to fall away, but that was leading us to the next step, the next path that's going to move us forward. So when hard things happen, it doesn't always mean that it's for the detriment. It can be for the betterment of your next steps and your next path. So thank you all. Keep putting things in the chat if you have things in there. Shifting jobs, definitely. Working as an animal communicator. I love that. Taking that course. That's amazing. Career changes. Okay. Holistic studies. Wonderful. All right. So, what causes us to feel stuck? This is the big question, right? And I think many of you probably have an idea of what some of the things are that cause you to feel stuck. Our subconscious programming, so the old programming, and I know you guys probably know what I mean by that. So the things that society is telling us that we have to do, which is 9 to 5 job for a lot of us. That's the only way you can make money, that you are not worthy or good enough, or maybe some things are holding you back because of lack mindset or feeling like there's only one way to make money. So all of that kind of programming that we've received, including, fear around the unknown, fear about what's going to be happening in the future. All of that is kind of that subconscious programming that we didn't come into this lifetime with, right? We came into this lifetime as a newborn baby where everything was possible to us. And through our growing up, through our experiences, through the people that we were raised by and the connections in the school system, we really had programmed into us a lot of emotions, feelings, and experiences that really have not been supporting us. So that is something that can definitely keep us stuck, keep us in that fear mindset. And the nervous system. So a lot of us have been feeling like we we can't move forward because we immediately have anxiety or we immediately have fear. And our nervous system has been set to protect us. And so when we have to go into something unknown, the unknown, do something new, it can be very scary. And so that is also another thing. And a lot of people right now are having dysregulated nervous systems. Their cortisol is elevated. This is affecting their body. This is affecting their mind. This is affecting brain fog. So all of those things are also playing into keeping us stuck. And emotional wounds, the experiences we've had. So maybe the person that said you weren't good enough, the thing that you tried and you weren't able to accomplish it as well as you would have liked, that have then made you feel like you were unworthy or didn't have the gifts that you needed to move forward. The emotional wounds from your family members. Maybe there's been family that have made you feel less than or made you not feel loved and supported. So all of those things, again, can help us to stay stuck. Energy leaks. This is a big one. And I don't know about you, but I definitely was a people pleaser. I wanted to put 100% into giving to everybody else to make sure that I was doing the best work I could do, that I was connected to the people I needed to be connected to, even if they didn't bring me joy, even if it wasn't a good relationship. And all of those types of experiences are really where we start to leak our energy. When we're giving away our energy, we're giving away our joy through feeling like we need to hold on to those type of experiences, the job that's not serving us, the relationships that aren't serving us. And we really need to focus on bringing in that energy back into our body, into our cells, into our experiences, so that we are feeling full and aligned and we have a full cup to be able to live with the health and vitality that we're looking for. And then misalignment of purpose. And this is a big thing for today in this topic and moving into our highest timeline. So if we are feeling like we are moving forward in a life where we don't feel supported by the universe, or we don't feel in alignment with our gifts or what you've enjoyed doing through your life. So maybe you have things that you love doing, but then you can't do that because it doesn't make you money, or you would have to learn a whole new career, whatever it might be. When we are out of that alignment, that's when we really start to feel that depression, that anxiety, feeling like we're not fitting in with the world that we are here to be a part of and what we're here to share. And I do see this a lot more as you're hearing people have more anxiety, more depression, all those types of things, that's been playing a part. So just keeping us in this state of being able to feel aligned with our purpose. And purpose doesn't have to be a career. I also want to make that clear, that purpose can be you're an amazing grandmother, you're an amazing grandfather, you raise the children that are going out and doing amazing work in the world. You are, tending to your garden. There's so many different things that bring us joy that can be in that alignment with our purpose. Okay. So now, what is your highest timeline? So some of you had put in the chat some of the things you would like in your highest timeline. So that's all amazing. We want to have the health. We want to have the vitality. We want to be living in our purpose. We want to have joy. We want to have connection with our spiritual realm, connection with our family, connection with our friends. We want to have freedom to live the life we want to live, the abundance of wealth and prosperity and joy, and all of the things that make us feel whole. So in that time, there are multiple potential futures. So I think that's also important to know, is that we do have multiple futures. And with the multiple futures in multiple timelines, we did come down here in this physical form so that we could have these experiences. And those experiences are through having emotions, spending time with different people, having different careers. And with that, we have turning points. So those conscious choices that made us move into those different futures and those different timelines. And so there are different timelines set out for you. And those conscious choices are going to help you move into the one that's either going to help you stay stuck or the ones that are going to help you move forward. So really keeping that in mind when you're making those conscious choices, where am I going to feel like I'm moving forward? And usually that's going to be the timeline where you're feeling most uncomfortable, most afraid, not feeling like you have the skills or the resources, because those are the ones where you have to make that courageous choice to step into the things that are the unknown so that you can actually see how you can further expand your consciousness and expand your life. But all of it starts with those conscious choices. Okay. And of course, our intuition is so important. And I know probably most of you on this call are, you've heard intuition, you try to live and listen to your intuition. And this is so important in allowing us to really feel into what those conscious choices and decisions are so that we can move forward with that faith and that trust that what we're getting, what we're receiving is going to be the right path for us and living from our authentic self. If we are having a situation, and I feel like this was such a big issue with me, I don't even know if I knew who I was. I mean, considering where I was to where I am now, I can't see how I was even really living an authentic life because I was giving my power away. I was not feeling coming from a sense of freedom or purpose or authenticity in how I expressed myself and how I lived my life. So really coming in and tuning into what does your authentic self look like? What do you want to experience? How has all of this come into your timeline and where are the choices coming from? And what's going to be the best outcome for you. And then again, always we need to take that aligned action. Is it taking that course? Someone had said they took an animal communication course and that took them on their path. That's amazing. Taking those courses, having those healings, having those coaches, being in programs like this, all those different kinds of things can really open you up to have those experiences. For me, it was quitting the job and letting things unfold in the way I was learning to heal my body and learning to trust my body and learning to trust my intuition and open up all my gifts with my guides and angels. But all of that took action. I couldn't just sit there. I needed to actually experience and find those people and find those opportunities and take those brave steps forward. So I actually would like to stop here for a moment and just say, what are some of, and I know someone had put in animal communication, what are some other things that you've done to take some aligned action? What other steps that you've taken to start moving forward? Some people I see have had many healers. Okay, nice. Some other paths you've taken that have helped you open up to what you're doing now, who you are now. Okay, yeah, I'm describing you right now. Okay, amazing. Yep, that means you're here for a reason. And I think that's the thing. We are all here for a reason. We're all listening to this and being a part of this community because the community is how we're raising the consciousness and hearing the messages is really what's going to bring us into our next divine step, right? Okay, and very nice. Spiritual practices. Wonderful. I volunteered at animal shelter. Nice. Yes, taking those steps. If you want to work with animals, volunteering with animals, that's definitely taking an aligned step. Went back to college. Okay, at 50. Amazing, amazing. Training, connection with friends, scholarships. Wonderful. Okay, singing bowls. Yes, I love singing bowls. Okay, wonderful. Thank you for sharing all of that. Okay. All right, so the quantum shift framework, and this is a series of steps just to kind of go with the flow, I guess, the flow of how you're going to shift in the quantum and how you can move forward. So the first thing is always the awareness. So we know there's a lot of people out there right now that aren't even aware of anything like quantum shifting or higher timelines or medical intuition or the universe or guides or angels and or any of those types of things. And so it really does start with awareness, and that's opening your mind to all possibilities. I would have to say before I started to do the work I do now, when I was very in the public health field, it was very science based. So I wasn't aware of any of these things that were out here that were possible that could open me up to being the person I am now. And so it really having that awareness, open yourself up, believing that anything is possible is really an important first step. And then releasing all those things that are keeping us stuck, releasing those fears, those anxieties, those traumas, the trauma bonds, the things that have been, really keeping you in an area where you felt afraid to move forward, all of that fear and so forth. So, really releasing all of that and allowing yourself to be more open and ready to receive. And then regulating, I talked about the nervous system. So regulating our nervous system, being able to come back to alignment when we do get dysregulated, come back quicker, being able to see and stabilize our energy. So all of those types of things are really important for this. And then to rewire. So neuroplasticity, like it's a beautiful thing. And it's interesting because it hasn't been that long that they were telling us our brain is the way it is. It's never going to be rewired and our thoughts are the way they are. But now they're showing, and there's the science that's talking about we can rewire our brain. We can rewire our thoughts and emotions. We can actually change our reality. And so when you're able to regulate and keep your energy stable, and you're able to then move into that next timeline that's available to you where you are feeling aligned, where you are feeling healthy and whole and vital. And the thoughts and emotions that you have are about abundance, are about gratitude, are about love. And so we can release some of that fear and anxiety. And then it's important, then once we're rewired, you can open up to receive love. You can open up to receive abundance, wealth, happiness, joy. When we're stuck in that fear, it's so hard to receive. When we're stuck in lack, it's so hard to receive the blessings, the money, the opportunities that are coming through. So once we're able to open ourselves up to receive, so much more can come through to us. And then to fully embody. I know for myself when I was in my pain and in my frustration and just feeling so out of alignment, my body was the thing that showed me first, through pain. And so when you are able to fully embody all of the being able to receive, being able to be regulated, being able to see your options and be creative and feel like you have freedom, bring all of that into your body, into your experience, into your existence, that's when you really can make the magic because you have brought it into every part of your cells that makes you who you are. So when we're talking about 3D, it's the third dimension, and that is a very struggle dense energy. And then moving into the 5D energy is more about alignment. And when I'm talking about moving into your highest timeline, that is moving us into the 5D timeline, the fifth dimension, and the energies of the fifth dimension. So in the third dimension, it is very dense. There's the struggle is fear based, confusion, exhaustion, scarcity, self doubt. All of these are things that you might be experiencing when you're in the 3D that's keeping us stuck, of course. And we want to move from that fear to that clarity, from the confusion to the confidence, from the exhaustion to the joy, from the scarcity to the prosperity, and from the self doubt to living our lives with divine purpose. If anyone would like to say that they want to join me in moving into the 5D, I would love for you to put a yes in the chat now. You want to leave those emotions of 3D behind and want to move into the 5D. Yes, yes, yes. Nice. Yay. Yes, yes. With hearts, exclamation points, prayer hands. Love it. Thank you. Yeah, me too. Very, very beautiful place to be when you're in the 5D with the clarity, confidence, joy, prosperity, and purpose. Thank you all. Okay. So the layers of energy affecting your alignment. And like I mentioned, there is the physical, and that was one of the things that happened with me was when I started to feel all the pain in my body. And when we are in a stuck energy, those things can be stuck in our bodies. And so being able to move that energy through is something that would be very helpful and things that I've found. So some of that might be due to chronic stress or not having good nutrition, not having good sleep, things like that, having a dysregulated nervous system. So, all of those things can be affecting the body and keeping us in that stuck, feeling heavy and depleted, um, having those dense feelings and pain in our body. And then the other is our emotional layer. So, with our emotions, yeah. So for our emotions, and again, that is having those unprocessed emotions that might be holding us back, that might be making us feel less than, or living in fear or grief. And so letting those emotions flow through us and flow out of us and just not holding on to them. Emotions are a big reason why we're here. We are living this physical life with the beauty and the gift of having emotions. I mean, our emotions are when we feel love, when we feel joy, when we feel grace and pleasure. So we don't want to stunt our emotions, right? We want to have them, we want to experience them. And even when it's hard emotions like fear and grief, we want to be able to learn how to experience them and then let them move through us so that they're not held in our field, they're not held in our body, which then can of course create more dis-ease in the future. So we want to be able to really have that emotional healing, be able to move through those emotions and keep them from being stuck in our experience. Okay. And our frequency. And frequency, I don't know if everyone's aware or heard of frequency, but our frequency, our vibration, and all of this is carried on through our thoughts and our emotions, our experiences. All of this is tied into that frequency and vibration, those beliefs. And so when you're in a state of alignment, when you're in a state of flow, you have a higher frequency, you're vibrating at a higher level. And with that, you're able to feel more gratitude, love, compassion, and have an expansive mindset. And then it helps you to not have as much fear and scarcity, resentment, patterns, things like that that might be holding you back because you're raising your frequency, you're raising your vibration to have more of those beautiful experiences come into your life and to be able to bring in that abundance, bring in that flow. And then ancestral. And I'm sure many of you have heard of this. And there's things like when we have heard of epigenetics. So when we have different things that have come into our life and maybe through genetics, but we have the opportunity to be able to not turn on some of those things that make some of these experiences come into our reality. So maybe you have a genetic predisposition for something, but it is the environment, it is the actions and the lifestyle sometimes that can keep us from expressing those genes. And that ancestral also can be brought in through the lineage of the lack, of the fear, of the feeling of famine, sadness, and grief. There's many different things that have been carried on through our lineage that we are here now in this physical body at this time to be able to transmute and change and bring us back, including our ancestors, to release some of that ancestral trauma, ancestral baggage that we might be carrying with us. And the karmic. So many times our experience is here now. And if you're listening to this right now, then you are in a time and in a place and an experience where you can start letting go of those things that you continue to experience. Maybe those relationships that you keep falling into that are not helpful, or having those experiences with bosses where they're not supportive, or friendships, or losing money, different things, like where you're here learning and relearning until you get to the point where you have been able to let go of that karmic loop that's been keeping you going through the different lessons over and over again until you're able to release that. So really it's a time of releasing those karmic bonds, those karmic cycles, so that you can move more into your authentic self. And then again, our purpose. So being in our purpose and being able to feel that joy, feel that alignment when we are not experiencing that, again, that's where I just see so much depression, anxiety, pain in the body, and not being able to have a clear mind, having clear actions, having clear directions. So really honing in on what you want to do and what gifts you have to share with the world is just so important for being able to bring you into that aligned energy. So I'd love to hear in the chat again if people have any of these that you feel like is the one you're most trying to work on. Is it your physical, emotional, frequency, ancestral, karmic, or purpose? Or is it all? You can put all if you feel like every single one of them. Emotional, purpose, physical. Okay, old trauma, absolutely. All of them. Yep. I was feeling the energy of some of you thinking all of them. That's why I put that out there, because sometimes it's hard to narrow down, but I was feeling some of you saying, yes, all of them. Purpose, all purpose and frequency. Okay, awesome. Programs, purpose, awesome. Physical, ancestral. Holding on to those legs, all wonderful. Okay, thank you all for sharing. Thank you for really feeling into the energy of what you're looking to work on and what you're ready to pull out and bring you back into alignment. Okay. So here are some great signs to show that you're moving into alignment. So with those areas where it was pulling us out, you're going to start experiencing some of these things when you do fall more into the aligned state. So greater peace. I sometimes feel like, what does that even feel like? I couldn't have told you what peace felt like or joy felt like before I came into my spiritual awakening, doing the work I'm doing now. But just having that greater sense of peace is just such a blessing. Having synchronicities. I know for me, this was a big one when I started seeing the repeating numbers, when I started paying attention to my dreams, when I started having different experiences that were more than coincidences. And I think this is often one that really kind of helps us to see that we are connected to the universe, that person you're thinking about, and then they called, those types of things we've all experienced. And those are all synchronicities letting us know that there is more to this universe. There is more to our connection with others and connection to ourselves and our gifts, and that we are supported by the universe. Better health. Like I mentioned, my health was failing. I was really not in a good place. And once I started letting all these energies come in and letting my body feel that it was loved and appreciated, and I had this joy and felt this beauty around expression, then my health improved, and my health improved, my mindset improved. So many different things came into that at the same time. And when I was able to have a clear vessel, then the intuition really became clearer as well. So opening up to the gifts, opening up to trusting your intuition, realizing when it's intuition versus fear. Intuition is always going to be kind. It's always going to be beautiful, and it's always going to give you a subtle message. It's not going to be screaming at you. It's not going to be telling you you're not worthy, you're not good enough. That's not your intuition. That is your fear. That is the ego and the programming. So the intuition is kind, it's caring, it's supportive. more abundance. And so that could be money. A lot of us want the abundance for the money, but it could be in having more aligned friendships and relationships and opportunities. So abundance of, experiences that align with where you want to be in your life, abundance of coaches and teachers and summits and different things where you can always learn and explore. And like I mentioned, the better relationships, that's often as soon as you are able to come into your alignment, when you're able to break down those trauma heart walls that you put up to protect yourself and to keep everybody out, when you're able to start letting that go and really trusting in who you are and what you are and what you have to give and share with the world, it makes it so much easier to have those aligned, beautiful relationships and opportunities start appearing. So when you put yourself out there with courage, with bravery, when we start putting out our authentic self, then we are putting out an energy where people are attracted to us, where opportunities are attracted to us, where abundance is attracted to us. So really putting out that energy, which will allow all of that to come into our experience. Okay. I'd love to see in the chat which of these are you guys most interested in having coming into your experience right now. Would you like to have greater peace, synchronicities, better health, clear intuition, more abundance, better relationships, opportunities appearing, or you can just do all. Yep. Opportunities, greater peace, all. Something occurred to me the other day, and I think this is that opportunity for you to say all. Sometimes we feel like we have to choose. And I think that's important too, is that we have freedom. We have our own sense of self. We are sovereign beings. And so sometimes when people say things, pick one, what do you want to do? Pick this, or what is the one thing that you can do or want to do? It really narrows our scope. And when someone can say, you can have them all, like just think how much of a freedom that feels that you don't have to choose. You don't have to choose just health. You don't have to choose just abundance. You don't have to choose um, just intuition, but that you can choose all of them. They're all available to us. And when we step into that highest timeline, everything is an opportunity. We can choose what's going to be the best direction for us and the next steps that we can take to move forward in bringing all of these into fruition. So, what are we going to experience? We're going to experience more health. We're going to experience more emotional healing. We're going to have those emotions where we feel, but then we can also release and let things flow through us and have courage and grace and joy and be able to say, like, I am an emotional being and that's okay. Oh my gosh, how many of us have felt like we feel too deeply, or been told we feel too deeply, or we're too sensitive, or whatever the case might be, and to be able to embrace that, that is a part of our being. We are a loving being, and being able to have strong emotions is a part of that. Just knowing how to then stabilize and ground and be in that aligned state is also very important. Increased confidence. And if you're someone who's working through trying to put yourself out into the world, like you have gifts that you want to share with the world, having that confidence to take those next steps, having that belief in yourself, that worthiness, all of that is so important and so aligned with who you are in your authentic form, is being able to breathe in and bring in all of those gifts that you can share with the world and greater abundance, bringing in that wealth, bringing in the prosperity, bringing in the relationships and the flow, just all of the things that you can have and bring in that abundant to your life. Aligned relationships, again, when you're in that authentic energy, this aligned relationships will come to you. And then the purpose alignment. So, yeah, bring in that state of all of those things, allowing you to put yourself out in the world, allowing you to bring in those people that might want to work with you, those friendships, those connections, all to help you move forward into bringing out your gifts into the world. Okay, so I love this picture. So is your highest timeline calling you? If it is, if you're like, everything I'm hearing right now is exactly what I want to do and I'm ready for this, please put a yes in the chat. Yes, yes. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of yeses. You're ready to move into this highest timeline. Okay, very nice. Very nice. Thank you all for sharing that. Yes, yes, yes. So I feel your highest timeline is calling you. This is really a profound time to step into your next step and to bring in all of those. Like I said, we don't have to just choose one. We can have all of them come into our alignment. We can bring in that prosperity, bring in the joy, bring in the healing. All of that is something that's waiting for us. And making those brave steps, allowing ourselves to put ourselves first and releasing some of those feelings of lack and feelings of unworthiness and feelings that are keeping you into this stuck mindset, but able to really open you up to the next step. All right. So we'll move into the activation now. Okay. So if you would like to close your eyes and take a deep breath in through your nose and release out through your mouth. And as you release, just allowing the energy to flow out of your body, allowing you to plant your feet on the ground, feeling calm and relaxed. Take another deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth, allowing that divine energy to flow through you. And now I invite you to take a little trip with me. And as you are stepping forward, you're seeing a door that's opening up in front of you. And as you open the door, turn the handle, you're walking into this beautiful room full of beautiful sunlight. You feel the beautiful, crisp energy around you. And as you're walking towards forward, you see a table, this beautiful crystalline table. And on it is many different gemstones and other types of stones just waiting for you. And as you look over the table, you are seeing one stone that reaches out to you, that is calling to you. There's many. There's red jasper for grounding, courage. There's black tourmaline for protection and clearing negative energy. Those are tied to your root chakra. There's chameleon for creativity and confidence. And orange calcite for emotional healing and inspiration. Tied to your sacral. There's citrine and tiger's eye for confidence, courage, and abundance. Tied to your solar plexus. And then there's rose quartz and emerald, unconditional love and heart wisdom, tied to your heart chakra. Blue lace and agate, blue lace, agate, and turquoise, tied to your throat chakra. Amethyst and lapis lazuli for spiritual awareness, wisdom, and intuition, tied to your third eye. And clear quartz and selenite for amplification and spiritual guidance, tied to your crown chakra. As you look over the table, and maybe there is a stone that's not there, but is your stone, the one that you always resonate towards. Walk towards the table as you're viewing stones line up in the root chakra, the sacral chakra, solar plexus chakra, the heart chakra, the throat chakra, the third eye, and the crown. It could be one of the stones that I mentioned, or it can be a stone that is something that you gravitate towards, that is your stone, that aligns with your energy. Reach over, walk over, reach over, and grab that one stone. How does it feel? Does it feel cool? Does it feel warm? Feel the stone energy in your hand. Does it have a vibration? Does it feel like it has strong energy? Is it giving you a message? Is it a message of courage? Is it a message of strength? Taking your next steps, opening your gifts and being in divine flow. A message of creativity, compassion, grace and love, strength and courage. Just feel into the energy as a stone. Feel that message coming through you as it's vibrating through all of your cells. And with that stone, if it's tied to your root chakra, your sacral, your solar plexus, your heart, your throat, your third eye, or your crown, and into where this stone belongs, and place that stone in that chakra, bringing it with both hands, the area, your lower abdomen for your root, just above that for the sacral, your upper abdomen for your solar plexus, your chest for your heart, your neck for your throat, your forehead for your third eye, between your eyebrows, and the top of your head for your crown. Place your hands there and feel the energy of the stone just melding into your body, melding into all of your cells, opening up to this highest timeline where this energy just flows freely through you, allowing you to be in this highest vibration, highest flow of energy, of awakening, of joy, courage, and grace. And as you're experiencing this, crystalline lights are flowing in through your body and around your body, just swirling, allowing you to feel so alive, so vital and loved and held, embracing all of this beauty that surrounds you, and this beautiful expression of who you are and what you are, and what you're here to share and give with the world. And as you are just allowing this beautiful energy to flow through you and around you, take another deep breath in through your nose. Feel all of that energy just bringing you into this highest timeline, helping you step forward with courage, creativity, freedom. Breath. Now, as you look upon the table of all the beautiful stones you left sitting on the table, know that they are all a part of your energy. They'll all be a part of your experience and your energy as you're stepping into this highest timeline. You do not need to leave any of them behind. As you step forward, they will all become part of you. They will all give you the courage, the strength, the creativity, the love, the joy, the abundance, prosperity, the connections, all that await you. Not having to just choose one, but having all of them be a part of you. So now, as you know, all of these are going to be with you on this journey. You walk over to the table. Sitting on the table is also a basket. You gather up all the stones. You place them in the basket. And as you turn to leave, you See all of this bright light behind you of your guides, your ancestors, galactic family, all those that are supporting you in this timeline jump and making this highest timeline movement that will bring you into that courage and alignment. They're supporting you in all the steps moving forward in your synchronicities, in your connection, love, and joy, knowing you're surrounded by a tribe that is always here with their divine love and support. So as you leave this room with the crystals, with the love of the divine, with the love of all those supporting you, you walk through that door. As you come to the other side of the door, holding all that love and connection, divine energy, and all of the stones that are going to bring you into this highest timeline that you're taking with you, you come back into your body. You move your fingers and your toes. You take a deep breath, feeling that peace and that alignment and freedom of what your next steps are going to be giving you, what's waiting for you, and how you can really align to all the things you're hoping to bring into this lifetime, but weren't sure how to do, knowing now that you will have the skills, you will have the guidance, you will have the connection and the community to really allow you to align to this highest timeline, bringing it into your awareness and into your reality. And as you take another deep breath in, move the fingers and toes, come back into your body, feel your alignment to all that is, and gently open your eyes. Okay, thank you all for being here today. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Maria. Yeah, our guides are very much supporting us and stepping into our highest timeline. That's what we're here to experience. That's why we are here in this physical body at this time. We've been given this gift to be here at a time when everything is open to us. We are going to be able to change and transmute and bring in higher consciousness to the world through our light. And really, now is the time. So thank you so much for being here. I would love to see you in the program. I'd love to work with you. It will be a beautiful container of support and love and encouragement and helping you move forward into your highest timeline. Thank you all. Thank you for all the beautiful thank yous and the hearts and the prayer mudras. Love you all, and thank you all for being here today. I hope you will continue to be a part of my community, where we'll have more beautiful moments like this. Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Hope you felt the energy flowing through you. You're feeling more aligned and peaceful. I'm so grateful that you were here today. So much love and blessings to all of you. And I hope you the best in your moving forward in bringing your gifts, bringing your light out to the world and your divine connection to all, and helping make the consciousness of the planet a better, more loving place. You are a gift. You are a light. Thank you all for being here with so much love and gratitude. Thank you all. Have a beautiful rest of your day.